Hello and welcome to episode 3 of what's it called? Uh, I signed up to an online training course so that you don't have to. But you might want to, if it goes well for me, hopefully you will. Okay, so this time looked into videos 11 to 19, looked at the different strategies. From then on, it was about compliance. That's the main next step for me to tackle. But first, I'm sure you're waiting with bated breath because in the last one, you're not waiting with bated breath, are you? Yeah. Well, but in the last one, I said I promised, I committed to calling an agent in my lunch break, even though I don't know what I'm doing. So did I?
Okay, so I just finished my lunch break and I did not call any estate agents, which is a bit annoying. But the reason I made that decision, and you can say that I chickened out, um, but it's not that actually. It's listening to a lot of their advice so far. It's very important to have good reputation with the estate agents. And if I just go and call an estate agent, I'm not too worried about making up a script or anything. I feel like I can be quite natural with them. But if I go there and say who I am, I'm Elliot Sykes Property, and then they look that up and I don't even have a company, I'm not insured, etc., etc. I just worry that what if that estate agent, won't pick up the phone the second time? So I want to leave the best impression. So instead, what did I do? Just did nothing. No, I did not do that. I am really, really enjoying the training. I'm up to video 19 and I've been making some notes.
So, what notes was I taking? Quite a lot, actually, as you can see. It is 11 all the way through the strategies to 19. Um, but since you probably can't read my handwriting, let's carry it on like this. So 11, 12, just talking about why property, um, capital appreciation. I think of the generation, sort of a couple of generations before us, bought into property, 80s, 90s, imagine in London now, the value of that I think there were, giving an example, 100k turned into 900. And well, that's where I'm based at the moment in London. Whether something at 900 today is going to go to, well, the equivalent of that is going to sort of 7, 8 million. Well, that would be nice. Um, so they then went into the strategies. Okay, so the first one they talked about is BRR, buy, refurbish, refinance, and then probably rent as well. Some people call it BRRR or something like that. Um, I don't think I should go into too much detail, not because it's not good strategy, but because I still don't understand it. I even had a call with someone called Jed Property, based in South Wales. Really, really nice guy. I didn't ask, can I have a call about BRI? I just asked, do you know anything about it? He's like, do you want to call? Oh, okay. Some free advice. It was wasted on me, straight over the head. I'll give it a go. So essentially, you buy the property, let's say for £75,000, as the Fontaines described it in sort of 3 4 minute chunks. £100,000. Let's say the mortgage on that um, is, well, I'm not really sure whether the first mortgage you have to get it at 25% for a rental. Maybe you don't have to. So let's say the mortgage is £10,000, a 10% one, and then you've refurbished it for another £10,000. Now, all of a sudden, the value of the property, which was 100,000, is now, I don't know, 125. So then when you refinance it, the new value, 25% deposit that you put down, um, or you leave, what was it? You leave 25% in,
and then you can refinance the rest, something like that. Anyway, some people manage to leave a few £1,000s in the deal, and essentially they've refurbished and are still owning with a more mortgage to pay, but are still owning that property. Then they're able to rent it, and they've only done it for a few £1,000s. And then the extreme cases where they've done it and actually profited from refinancing, so they've actually got almost like that people would say buying a property for free or for profit. I'm sure it's very complicated, and you know, it obviously in that case sounds very good, almost too good to be true. But I still need to research into it. So if anyone knows a better way to explain it, you can comment it down below. That would be very, very helpful. Number 14, buy to sell, flip, much more simple. Buy it, add value. It costs you less than the value added to add that value. Oh my god, I need to explain this better. But you buy at 50k, do it up at 10, and then suddenly it's worth 75. The difference there between your total of 60 to 75 is 15. That's profit. Obviously, there's stamp duty, taxes, and everything else, so that margin will be tighter. But that was more simple. If you've watched Homes Under the Hammer, that probably got me interested as a kid in this whole thing. Anyway, then the order was a bit strange, because then they went into rent to rent before they did your traditional. They went into rent to rent, service accommodation, HMO, before they actually talked about the more traditional owning the property and doing SA, service accommodation. I sound like one of these guys that knows what they're talking about now, using SA, buying it, doing SA or HMO, service accommodation, Airbnb, or Booking.com, or anything by the night. That could be for holidays, but it's tricky to keep going in the winter, so better off doing it for contractors. I still need to look into what. Give it a sec. Typically in construction, maintenance, or other trades, yeah, so people need somewhere to go for the length of a project, and then you'd rent the room by the night, or do that via their company. And then HMO is by the month. Students, young professionals. I was in a HMO last year as a student, so I'm very familiar how it works. You know, when a property is rented by the room, you're going to get a lot more than if the whole unit is rented. It's the rent-to-rent version of that, where you're paying the landlord a guaranteed rent, and then the more traditional way would be, or actually bought the property. Oh my god! You bought the property, and then you're paying the mortgage, and then the difference between the mortgage and the rent. You know what? The difference between the rent to rent is probably tighter than the mortgage to rent, because obviously the landlord you're doing rent to rent from has to pay the mortgage as well. So there's an extra layer on top. That's why maybe it's more risky, but then again, less capital down. Last couple, commercial conversions and land opportunities. They don't have as much experience here. They do know people, but they don't have direct experience here of commercial conversion, offices, shops, turning them into flats. Need to be very tight on the legals, working with local authorities, councils, etc., and working with developers. Similarly, on land opportunities, it's like risking millions, but potentially making millions more if the development goes forward. What am I going to be doing? Very good question. So BRR. Kind of curious about, I don't understand it, so maybe it's not the best one for me right now. And I've also heard that they don't work in the south from one of the mentors. Don't know, who knows. And then the flip, far more simple. I've started looking. I can see a few just on Rightmove that I can see they could be done up to a nicer standard.
So definitely will consider that. But also HMOs, because I do understand them a little bit, having lived in one. Now, here's the thing as well. Yeah, it kind of depends what the investors want in the area. Got to find that out as well, because it's not going to be my money I'm putting down. So if they all want rent to rent, then maybe I'll do that. Let's see.